They just look horrible. It shouldn't be judging solely on the physical appearance, but it's so powerfully ugly. I kind of have to. Happy birthday, everybody. Welcome to Cerealsly, where we take cereals seriously. My name is Alex, and once I got a nose hair stuck in my eye, and it really hurt. If you've ever had one of your body parts attack another, I'd love to hear about it down in the comments. Today on Cerealsly, we're tackling a cultural phenomenon that doesn't have its roots in cereal, but now commands an ironclad grip on the industry. And it's not just cereals. All manner of beverages and bakery items and snack foods have also fallen prey to this overwhelming cultural craze. For a full season of the year, which seems to be getting longer and longer, many of the treats that we love, that we rely on, I would say, try to get us feeling cozy and safe by serving us up an obtuse blend of flavors casually known as pumpkin spice. This enigmatic but unmistakable flavor has become synonymous with fall. It now sits alongside flannel and early scarves and mittens, apple cider, falling leaves, college football, and the corn maze as a hallmark of the coming season. Though likely not born there, pumpkin spice really came into its own in the coffee industry, promising to deliver the perfect distillation of fall in the unassuming form of a latte. But as often is the case when the marketing machine picks up on something nice, where once people waited anxiously for the pumpkin spice season to roll back around, we are now inundated with pumpkin spice earlier and earlier, as soon as midsummer. When we should be dancing around the maypole and getting ready to fall off our ritual cliffs, we're already fighting off the smell of cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, ginger, and the most arrogantly named seasoning ever created, allspice. And pumpkin spice isn't just arriving earlier and earlier, it's arriving everywhere. From air fresheners to keto crackers, from kombuchas to Little Debbie's snack cakes, it's hard not to be taking in pumpkin spice this time of year, even by accident. And that brings us full circle, because today we're going to explore 4 different cereals on the market right now that want to cash in and get a piece of that sweet, sweet pumpkin spice pie. All right, let's take a look at the cereals we're going to be working with today. First, let me choose this one, Pumpkin Spice Frosted Flakes. This is actually the first of 3 from Kellogg's. You can see that they're displayed here on the back. But this one, just as the name implies, is just Frosted Flakes, but instead of regular default frosting on it, the frosting supposedly tastes like pumpkin spice. That would be taking a very simple cereal and making it quite complex in its flavors. So I'm looking forward to this to see if it really lives up to that. Next, we have, very similarly from Kellogg's, Frosted Mini Wheats, but this one says pumpkin pie spice. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's just because the wheat of the Frosted Mini Wheats gives it more of a pie crust taste, so they decided to put it in? Remember, these 3 are all marketed as the pumpkin spice line from Kellogg's this year. So I'm fascinated to see if there's a hint of crust. I can only imagine that that's the thing that's left over that the others don't have. So pumpkin pie spice Frosted Mini Wheats is our second one. Now, let's look at the third. Let's take a break from the Kellogg's just for a second and look at this one from General Mills. Again, pumpkin spice Cheerios. This has a pumpkin right on the front of the box, which I think is a great idea. They are nailing it with this orange. Now, again, we've already done Frosted Lemon Cheerios, many other fruit flavors of Cheerios, fruit flankers of Cheerios on this channel. Is pumpkin a fruit? It probably is a vegetable, but it seems to be one of those vegetables that people could say, like, did you know that pumpkin is actually a fruit? How they always do with tomatoes or whatever. So we'll have to see. This one is labeled limited edition. The other ones are as well, but I like how they put it right on the front there instead of like in a corner, like sometimes Kellogg's does. So this one has tic-tac-toe on the back. Wait a minute. This says 4 pumpkins in a row. So this is an extended fall version of tic-tac-toe that I hope is even playable in the same way. I'm not even sure. You only get one shot at it because on the back of the box here. All right, let's look at the next one. Finally, we're gonna eat some pumpkin spice Special K, again from Kellogg's, again limited edition. This is the third and final one from Kellogg's. Now, you need to know about me is I have not eaten Special K, plain Special K, in years and years. So I think I remember what it tastes like, but it will be interesting to taste the pumpkin spice on top of this. This is our first time intersecting with Special K on Cerealsly, so I am very excited for that. I've always considered Special K to be like a health cereal. I think that's how they marketed it at the beginning. So maybe I'm still fooled by that. Definitely health halo around this. We will see. I would say that I am not as much of a fan of this orange. You can see it's slightly more pale or something. Not as saturated as the Cheerios orange. I think I like the Cheerios one better, but that's just the box. We're going to get to what the cereal actually tastes like. One thing I'm noticing, though, before we actually taste any of these, is that none of these are especially interesting. None of them has marshmallows. None of them are original cereals. None of them is anything more than the thing that's usually on store shelves, spray tanned orange by the pumpkin spice overlords. But remember, this blend of familiar holiday spices is supposed to be comforting. It's supposed to make us want to bundle up or jump into a pile of leaves and prep for stuffed turkey. What do you think? Can cereal successfully get us in that fall feeling that we crave? Or will this be a spiced overload? Friends, it's time to eat some cereal. Well, everybody, I'm ready to go. Jumping into this pumpkin spice showdown of sorts. I've got my bowl, of course, got my spoon, got my skim milk as always. This one writes itself. Today it's going to be our pump skim spice milk. Pump skim, that's actually really fun to say. You should try it. I think I'm going to go in the same order that I introduced them. So let's start with a very basic one, Frosted Flakes Pumpkin Spice. This one doesn't do any work to give us an activity or a game or something on the back. Instead, it just says, there's other cereals you should buy. It's a commercial for itself on the back. Geez, this box, I had trouble opening. That's rare. Usually boxes are fine, not this one. Oh, but the bag made up for it. Ooh la la. You know I love a good bag. All right, let's see what we've got here. Boy, I don't know if you looked at these compared to Frosted Flakes side by side, they might look different. They look exactly like normal Frosted Flakes to me, although the smell is instantaneously wafting in the room of pumpkin spice. I'd say that's surprising, but it's really not surprising. They marketed it like this. Tony the Tiger, you've done it. It sure smells like fall. Boy, I'm not even sure if I'm ready for this. I don't know why, but we're still a couple of weeks out. I usually connect fall more like Halloween or Thanksgiving. This is not quite there yet, but wow, this was a punch to the senses. I can definitely smell the cinnamon. I can definitely smell the nutmegginess that's trying to give me that tingle in the back of my nose. Let's try it dry and see what we think. Well, at least dry, it's a better smell than it is taste. You know what I think we're going to do? I think we're going to go through all four, eating them dry, and then try them separately with milk. So let's go on to our next one, Frosted Mini Wheats Pumpkin Pie Spice. So again, that's different than the other ones. The other ones just say pumpkin spice, despite this being the exact same company that made these. The opposite. The box was great. The bag was a little rough to open. Frosted Mini Wheats, you got to give yourself a big hole there because these things, despite being, I'm looking inside, cut off mid-sentence because these look hideous. Let me pour them in the bowl so you can see. Oh, no, no, no. They look repulsive. I assume this is the same color that Frosted Mini Wheats, the wheat part, usually is. But in contrast with this nasty orange that is in the frosting, it looks disgustingly gray and dour here. Oh boy, they don't market this as being spooky, but this would fit right in on like you're having a haunted house and you need some diseased foods. Oh, not a good start. Very little smell. Ugh, smells like wheat. which I assume most Frosted Mini Wheats do, but we don't usually put them up in our nose and smell them. Ugh, not good. Now, I'm going to eat these dry. This is the worst possible way to eat Frosted Mini Wheats is dry. I picked one with a lot of frosting on it. Hopefully that does us some good in getting some moisture in my mouth, but okay, let's eat this dry. Well, this certainly does not have the same spray, which I don't understand. You'd think they're both from Kellogg's. Kellogg's would just make one big tub of the frosting and spray so that they could work out the flavor so that they taste similarly. That is not the case at all. This is a much more subtle, far less flavorful cereal. Again, we're going to have to wait to see how it does in milk, but it does not have the same layers of depth of several of those spices coming out in the Frosted Flakes. That's so odd to me. All right, I'm going to go out of order here because now I'm stuck on the idea of Kellogg's. So let's finish up with the Special K from Kellogg's and try that one dry before we go to a different company here. Okay, they nailed it. Both very good on this one. Box and bag. Okay, well, this one is very similar to the smell of the Frosted Flakes. So maybe they only had to do a variety on these because this is technically not a spray, it's a frosting. Now, hold on a second. I thought Special K was just flakes, but this has something else. Clusters of nuts or puffed rice or something. What is these little yellow nuggets? You never want to discover yellow nuggets in something, so this better have a good explanation. It says crunchy wheat and rice flakes with, and then it just, oh, here's what it is. Nutmeg, allspice, ginger, cinnamon clusters. So they say that these little clusters contain the flavor. So I was wrong. At the beginning, I said none of these are any different than normal. None of them have marshmallows or anything added. This one does. It has these clusters. Again, I haven't eaten Special K in a long, long time. I don't think the default Special K comes with any clusters in it. So this is something. That's fun. Let's give it a try and see what we think about the flavors. Having those little clusters is odd, dry at least, because you have the crunchiness of the flakes, which again, now it's coming back to me. These are very Special K-y flakes, but the clusters are of entirely different consistency. They're very squishable. They're not a grain. They're like a pressed together powder. And so they really did just have a different texture in my mouth that wasn't very good. Now, while I have them here, let me try this. Now, let me go back to the Frosted Flakes. Oh. Even these two, which are just sprayed onto flakes, taste very different. This one so far, Frosted Flakes, has the most complex flavor of pumpkin spice. Seems to nail all 5 of them. The flakes alone in this one don't do it. Now, again, we'll have to wait for milk. Maybe those clusters in the Special K really come on board and do something interesting. But before we get to the milk part, let us get out from General Mills these pumpkin spice Cheerios. Again, vibrant, special type of orange going on with this. I really like that decision. This is a heavy box. I wonder why that is. I usually don't equate that with Cheerios. Let's see what they look like. Well, they are indeed orange. Orange probably suits these O's pretty well. They don't quite live up to the box's orange, but they look fine enough. I gotta say, I'm not really a fan of this orange tinge that things have. I do like shocking orange. When it comes to Rice Krispies, they have an orange one that comes around Halloween. That one is fantastic orange, so I'm not against orange. It's just, these are kind of like a drab or non-committed orange. Well, except for this Frosted Mini Wheats, but that's just bordering on the horrific, so not sure that wins any prizes. All right, let's try this the Cheerios here, pumpkin spice Cheerios. Wow, the oats of the cereal actually are a really good complement to the pumpkin spice flavor. If anything, these should be called pumpkin pie spice because the oats really have a substantial part to play in this. All right, now let's start back at the top and put some milk on them. I'm actually going to put these to the side so I don't have to keep looking at them. Let's start with the Frosted Flakes, see what milk does to any of these and makes it worth it or not. All right, Frosted Flakes pumpkin spice with milk. Oh, I had a memory, a taste memory as I ate this. What was that taste memory of? It's very good, but literally like sparked a taste nostalgia in me. I need to think for a moment about what that feeling was. Maybe I'll have another bite and it will help me remember. What does this taste like? Of course it tastes like pumpkin spice. I'm not even out of the range of those things, but it tastes like another specific thing that I've had pumpkin spice flavored. I'm such an idiot. The thing that is in my mind is pumpkin pie filling, just without the crust on it. What a stupid head I am being right now. This immediately, you saw it, literally made my brain confused, clicking back to that previous fond memory of homemade pumpkin pie. At least the part of the pumpkin pie that's the pumpkin-y part. In that sense, boy, we got to give this major cred because it did exactly what it was supposed to do. I'm in shock how much differently the milk brought that out in me. You saw when I ate it dry, I didn't think of anything. But man, oh man, now I can't get it out of my internal sensors, thinking of being at my in-laws' house and all these pies that my mother-in-law and my wife are making and we're eating, the family is all there. Boy, this is wonderful. I feel warm and happy eating this Frosted Flakes. This is a really big surprise for me. I did not expect to have an emotional reaction to the pumpkin spice showdown. All right, well, let's continue here. That was wonderful. Ay. Next, though, we got this to look forward to. This looks like garbage. What the heck? Let's put some milk on it. Maybe that will help it come alive. It sure did with the other one. Well, I'm leaving my options open here. Almost need a palate cleanser already by this point. I've had so much pumpkin-y spiciness in my mouth. All right, let's try these. These have a sharper version of the pumpkin spice. Again, it's called pumpkin pie spice. It does not hit me the same way as those Frosted Flakes do. It really is a more artificial, more chemical taste. Some of you may know I'm a big fan of chemical tastes. But when they're going for something natural, like pumpkin pie spice, it is not. Boy, is this a loser. Boy, from the couple dry and then that with milk taste I had, this one is going to rate low. Just a little preview for you. Let's try it again. The only reason to eat this one is if all you eat in the cereal world is Frosted Mini Wheats and you are tired of the regular, you've gone through the strawberry, and now you just need something different for a month or two. Yeah, I suppose, because this isn't the end of the world. It's not the worst cereal I ever ate, but compared to the others we've had, it's not going to punch you in the mouth with good pumpkin spice taste. I'll give it one more shot with a bite. No, I don't like this one. So I'm going to put it aside. It is much better with milk, as all Frosted Mini Wheats are, but still totally not worth it. All right, I am going to continue with the Kellogg's World and go for this third one, the Special K Pumpkin Spice. This one has the little nuggets in it, the little clusters, look like little corn nuggets. That's not what they are, but they are supposedly clusters of all of those wonderful fall flavors. So let's try this with milk. Ooh. Well, we're back to a much more standard pumpkin spice flavor. This is much more on the level. Now, I don't like it as much as the Frosted Flakes, and let me tell you why. It has these two textures, and the flavors come at you at different points. So you do have the flakes, which are totally fine. They taste a little bit like pumpkin spice, but then you bite into one of those powdery nuggets, one of those powdery clusters of spice, and then it's a new hit of the pumpkin spice flavor. That's very good, but they're not the same. They're trying to be complementary. I don't know if it's working. So they just taste like two different cereals mixed. Now, I suppose you could say the same thing with Lucky Charms and their marshmallows, but that's become such a cultural staple, maybe I don't notice that they're contrasting or complementary. These I definitely noticed. You're having two different textures, two different things happen in your mouth. Maybe if these clusters were made from oats, or they are some sort of other grain cluster that has a stronger flavor, that would work. Kind of like a honey bunches of oats situation. But Special K with just nuggets thrown in, I don't know if that's doing it for me. Let me try another taste or two here. Whoosh. Yeah, really, you're eating along the flakes, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa! You bite accidentally into one of those flavor nuggets, and then here comes the pumpkin spice out of left field. It's fine, but I don't know if it's for me. One thing I'm wondering is, I wonder what the difference would be if they had made these marshmallows instead of those little flavor chunks. I don't know, they couldn't do that because, again, I think Special K is known to be, or at least presents itself to be, a little bit healthier. You can't just throw marshmallows in it. But is it any better to throw chunks of something that you're not even sure what it is, just clusters of flavor, something, powder? Boy, this one's not nearly as lame or bad or ugly as this Frosted Mini Wheats, but it still doesn't come close to these very straightforward and wonderful Frosted Flakes pumpkin spice. All right, let's finish up with the pumpkin spice Cheerios. Orange as they come in the Cheerios world. Let's see what they taste like with some milks on it. Here we go. This is definitely my second favorite. Let's see if it delineates what this... Yeah, so this says cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. I can tell you, this one is powerfully cloves flavored. Not what I expected. The cinnamon, the nutmeg are there, but they are taking second place to the cloves taste. I was just telling my wife earlier, I'm not sure if I could recognize cloves taste. I certainly can, because in this pumpkin spice from Cheerios, it is front and center. Let me try one more bite. This one tastes the most natural. I know that's not the case. These are all processed cereals with lots of processed sugars and grains in them, but the spices taste the most real. It is because of that strong cloves taste, but it feels like you're supposed to be eating this in fall because some farmer brought those spices in that day. It tastes that kind of natural. It doesn't have the same holiday hit as these frosted pumpkin spice flakes have, but it is a close second for a very different reason. This one tastes of nostalgia. This one tastes of the earth. Very natural. Both of these I would give strong ratings. In fact, let's go through some ratings. Frosted Flakes, pumpkin spice, 4.5. If you're a Frosted Flakes fan, if you're just easy cereal fan, this is the one to go with. I could not believe I literally on camera had that nostalgic reaction that they are designed to give us. Way to go, Kellogg's, with something as simple and straightforward as these. Frosted Mini Wheats ones, they are so gross to look at. Even still in the bowl, they just look horrible to me. I hope I'm not mocking something to, shouldn't be judging solely on the physical appearance, but it's so powerfully ugly. I kind of have to. Plus, pumpkin spice just seemed very unnatural, very chemical. In this context, I'm using that as a bad thing. I'd give a 1.5 because they do have the regular Frosted Mini Wheats texture and flavor, which is fine. At least they didn't break that. Okay, 4.5, 1.5. Then we've got Special K, pumpkin spice, totally fine. I'd give this a 3. It is a confusing thing. I wish they would tell us more specifically what those clusters are. They can't just be the spices, or they wouldn't have that powdery texture. So there's got to be something holding them together. Because that was more enigmatic, I didn't like that. I'm going to give this a 2.5. Is that right? Did I already give it a rating? I can't remember. So here we go. 4.5, 1.5, 2.5. Unless I said something else before. Finally, I'm going to give this 3.5 or 4. Let's go. I'm in a holiday spirit. Let's go for a 4 for these pumpkin spice Cheerios. Very hearty, very natural tasting, heavy cloves taste, which really packed a punch. So I would say that these are the two winners. Frosted Flakes, 4.5. Cheerios, let's go with that 4 for the pumpkin spice Cheerios. And then fine, and then the loser. Don't get this, or if you have to, just to try it out because it's fun just like me. But otherwise, avoid this one. Well, friends, we have done it all. We talked, we 8. We consumed more spice than the Bene Gesserit. But now, it's enough. Remember, we gave these cereals, what did we give them? 4.5, 4, 2.5, 1.5. Ugh, yucky. Take it away. If you want to try any of these cereals for yourselves, they are all available right now on store shelves, though I would encourage you, just pick 1 or 2 and don't go bananas like we did today. It's just too much pumpkin spice in my mouth. And listen, if you haven't yet, please like this video. Subscribe to the channel. You won't regret it. Maybe you'll regret it, but just do it anyway. And leave a comment with what cereal we should look at together in a future episode. Until then, never be soggy, my friends. Bye-bye.